and salutations, I'm Ashlee Tayla, welcome to my chaos. So I haven't been like regularly posting and uploading on this channel for a long time, I think. For those who don't know, I am a part-time, mostly kind of full-time, if we're being honest, content creator. The direct avenues where that really speaks for me is Instagram, TikTok, and like Patreon. I'm also starting to stream on Twitch, so follow me over there. But honestly, what is the most fun for me to make content for, besides just simply cosplaying in general, is YouTube. I love making videos on here, but I feel like I have no sense of direction, or I just have kind of no idea what I'm doing. Over here I just do things kind of like when I feel like it. Something that makes me feel more so like close to my audience and like I can figure out what they want to know is every now and then I love to do a Q&A. It's been years since I've done one, so I thought, why not? I said ages ago when I hit 14,000 subscribers on here that I was going to do one. I said I think initially at 13,000 because 13 is my lucky number. Since hit 14,000, that was a couple months ago already, but I'm here now. I've asked in a community post over on YouTube and over on my Instagram story, so follow me those places if you want to ask me things next time. Full questions, and I'm going to answer them now. So I'm going to start with YouTube questions. I have 3 questions in one go, so I'm going to answer them in order. First off, we have, do you think you're growing out of Percy Jackson? This is a complicated question for me because in terms of just like my love for the project and the series, no. In terms of content, a little bit. It's not that I don't want to still make PJO content and that I will stop at no point. I have no plans to. I will be doing commentary videos, season 2 of the show. I will keep doing reading vlogs for every new book that Rick puts out. I can't speak. But I feel like for a while I was very shoehorned into just the Percy Jackson niche, and I feel very grateful that I've kind of expanded out from that. I think my Percy Jackson content still does decently, which is amazing, but I don't want that to be the only thing that people watch from me and the only thing that people look forward to. For a long time it was, and that's okay. No shade if that's you. No shade if that's the only content you still want to watch, but as a creator, I never set out to be a Percy Jackson creator. I set out to be a cosplay content creator. So for a while it was very disheartening when I'd spend so much time and effort and money on new cosplays and all the comments would just be like, more Annabeth, we want more Annabeth. And I'm so grateful. I don't want it to sound like I'm not grateful. I'm so grateful that people love my Annabeth and want to see more of that content. And I will keep making it, but I want to expand and have more of an assortment, and I feel like I've gotten closer to doing that now, and that's I'm very, very grateful for. I definitely haven't grown out of Percy Jackson as like a thing. It's one of my special interests. I will never grow out of it realistically, I don't think, but it's nice to feel like in terms of the content I make that there's more of a variety now. That makes it more fun for me. It makes it more fun for me when I do make that Percy Jackson content, that it feels rarer. It feels like it's because I've had authentic ideas, and that's fun. Just realized I haven't addressed the wig. I was having a really bad headache and I own a lot of wigs. That's the lovely nature of having wigs lying around. Where do you see your channel in the next few years? Interesting, I have no idea. Hopefully I'm still making content on here. Hopefully I've found a way to like make more consistent YouTube content that people enjoy. YouTube is not like a big platform for me. It's one of my smaller avenues. Like Twitch is smaller, but I just started over there. Like my Instagram and my TikTok are kind of the bigger one. But I really do love making YouTube content. So if this can keep like slowly growing and people just watch some of what I make, that would be lovely. If you had to assign a Taylor Swift song to every comfort character, what song would you choose? I have too many comfort characters to like list and to encapsulate this with. My like main ones, Annabeth is the Archer. Hands down, Annabeth Chase is the Archer for me. That's part of why I was so excited to get my Archer tattoo. Can you see that? Because I feel like it encapsulates Annabeth for me as well, because I just assigned that song to Annabeth, and it was definitely like me self-projecting because it's one of the most relatable Taylor songs for me. I just assigned it to Annabeth, and I think that's so accurate. Rapunzel I think would be Enchanted. No, I'm gonna say live action Cinderella, like Lily James Ella from live action Cinderella. She's Enchanted. Rapunzel is, I'm gonna say something crazy. I'm gonna say Rapunzel is when Emma falls in love. Wanda is Mad Woman, hands down still. Glinda is I Can Do It With a Broken Heart, probably. That's a very Glinda song. Annie January is You're On Your Own Kid. Daisy Jones is also You're On Your Own Kid. Evelyn Hugo is the lucky one. I feel like that's my main list of comfort characters off the top of my head at least. I think Anna, like Princess Anna, is nothing new. I had a dream once where Taylor Swift and Rick Riordan were the same person, meaning that each album corresponded to a specific book. Unfortunately, the dream didn't tell me which corresponded to which, so what do you think fits best? There are too many books for me to do this entirely with. I will say Speak Now is Battle of the Labyrinth in my mind. That's just like wholeheartedly a thing for me. Let's go with that. Let's say Titan's Curse is Fearless, because I think that fits very well too. I feel like Fearless is very like angsty, piney, sad but upbeat, which I feel like fits with Titan's Curse, and like I'm kind of just projecting Persebeth. What albums fit Persebeth at which point in their story? The Lightning Thief is tricky because they're so young there, where I feel like it has to be a debut because like A Place in This World like fits Percy really, really well in there. But I also feel like every Taylor Swift album is a little bit too adult. I'm gonna go crazy and say Last Olympian is Tortured Poets, because I feel like it's like mentally unhinged enough to be that. Okay, Sea of Monsters. What's Sea of Monsters? Sea of Monsters I think is just I'd Lie, the song that's an unreleased song off of Debut and Fearless. What can I put as Sea of Monsters? Sea of Monsters is so like juvenile happy. And again, I think all of Taylor's albums are a little bit too like sad and mature for that. Okay, maybe we won't do Sea of Monsters. I've got 2 questions. Do you enjoy collecting physical music such as CD albums or vinyl records? Yes, when I was a kid I was big into CDs. I've grown out of them. I've gotten into vinyls. I'm not a huge collector. I don't collect vinyls for the sake of collecting a vinyl, but every single one of my favorite albums I yearn to own on vinyl, and I'm getting there. My music taste is mostly like pop music and musicals, so that means there's a lot of cast recordings and like movie scores and stuff that I want on vinyl that are like not any normal collector's ideals. But you know, I got like the Little Mermaid like animated soundtrack on vinyl for my birthday last year, and that was the most joyous thing in the world. Actually, not for Christmas, sorry, and that was such a huge deal for me. Just getting like Short and Sweet Deluxe on vinyl recently was huge. When I got the Anthology on vinyl, that was a big moment for me. I got the Hamilton cast recording. Someone gifted it to me off of my wish list, and I cried when I opened it. So it's just a lot of like compiling albums that mean a lot to me. I yearn to have them all on records. I'm slowly getting through every Fleetwood Mac album. That's a goal of mine. And part 2 was, who are your top 5 favorite musical artists? This is a really good question. Again, my music taste is mostly pop music and show tunes, so a lot of my favorite musical artists like don't count because they're like composers, so I'll say like normal music artists. Taylor Swift, Fleetwood Mac. Do I count? I love Stevie Nicks' solo stuff as well. No, we're gonna go Taylor Swift, Fleetwood Mac, Sabrina Carpenter, Peach PRC, and this is where it gets tricky for me because it's, do I want to say Stevie Nicks as her solo stuff, or do I want to say Dolly Parton, or do I want to say Olivia Rodrigo? I like women making music, evidently. I'm gonna go with Stevie Nicks though. Since this is more or less a child-friendly channel, I won't ask top or bottom. Instead, my question is, do you prefer to be the big spoon or little spoon? I feel like as time goes on, this channel gets less child-friendly just by nature of me becoming more unhinged as an adult. I try to not be like unsafe for work, but like I feel like I'm getting a little bit more risky on here. I just have less of a filter. No, I like to be the little spoon, but I think everyone does. I enjoy being the big spoon because I like to koala people, and usually because I'm quite short, even when I've had partners who are like not tall, I'm still shorter than them, so I like to like be like a koala and fully like grasp onto their back. But I like being a little spoon. I think everyone does. Bless this question. Favorite Sabrina Carpenter song and album? Song is Tornado Warnings and album is Emails I Can't Send. I'm an emails bitch. I just am. If you could join the cast or crew in 3 musicals, which one would it be? I mean, like, I'd love to be in the cast for all of them, but I cannot sing and I'm not a good dancer anymore, so it would have to probably be crew with all 3. But I'm just gonna say like Wicked, Hadestown. Hadestown is my favorite musical of all time. Wicked is Wicked, you know. I clearly love it a lot. What would my 3rd one be? What seems really fun and unlike those 2? 6. I think. It's hard work, but it's fun, and it's, you know, it's like a 1-act show, which is a little bit of a breather, I guess. Any fun stories about being a party princess? Thank you for asking. I love talking about princessing more than anything. This isn't necessarily like a party, but I was working an event 2 days ago, actually, and for the company that I work for, sometimes in Adelaide, my boss throws like these huge events. So we were doing a Princess Day at the Castle, which basically means that it's a ticketed event. People buy tickets and they come, and we do a big performance at the beginning, and then we do a meet and greet and photo opportunity opportunities, and there's a bunch of other activities kids can do. They can get their nails done. There's a big like balloon house. There was little like bumper cars at this one, which I don't think we've had before, and I was walking around like helping set up beforehand, and I was like, oh my god, this is sick. But during the second session we were doing that day, there was a little girl. After we do a dance performance, we do another couple songs, so we like bring the kids onto the dance floor with us, and we do a few like dances with them. So we do like princess lessons, and we do like very easy choreography that we teach them, and then we all sing Let It Go. And there was a little girl dressed as Elsa who ran right over to me for like the dance part of the show, and she was so energetic, but she was really, really respectful. There's a few times, and no shade to kids who do this, they're very excited. I don't want it to sound like this is a bad thing for them to do, but kids who are very, very eager to just get your attention while you're doing it and are just, you know, tapping away at you. But she was so respectful and was so patient, and she wasn't trying to even necessarily get my attention. She just seemed so happy to be there, and she gave me a hug afterwards before I walked over to my meet and greet session. And then when she came over in line, I was so excited to see her. I'd been waiting all day, and I gave her the biggest hug, and she just squeezed me so tight for like 4 minutes straight. And then she had this little plush bunny with her, and she kind of like held it up to show me, and I went, oh my goodness, who's this? Is this your friend? And she said, yes, it's this bunny. And I said, well, hello, bunny. And ignore my accent. She said, I want to give you Bunny. And I said, oh my gosh, like, no, I couldn't. Like, Bunny's your friend. I can't take Bunny. And she just said, no, I really want you to have him, Elsa, because then you can keep him forever and ever, and you'll never forget meeting me. And I started crying, and so I hugged her again, and we had this giant hug, and I gave her a little tiara, and she was just the sweetest thing in the world, and it made my life. Not to say that my job is ever difficult, but sometimes you have like party princessing, like for those big events, it's, you know, we get there at 8:30 already with makeup done. I started getting ready at 6. We get there at 8:30, we do a rehearsal, then we get into costume, then we, you know, start greeting all the kids, and we have like a break, but during that break we're still making a bit of content for the brand and stuff. Like, it's a very full-on day. Started at officially at like 8:30, finished at about 6, but there's a few hours of prep before then. So it's a long day of being in character and meeting people, and it can get a bit exhausting, but moments like that just fill me with such joy, and they're what I think about on my worst days when I'm like, I haven't done anything meaningful with my life. Yeah, that's my story. Thank you for asking. Are you a DC comics / movies / shows fan at all? Yes, for comics and movies. My comics knowledge for DC is pretty Gotham centric, I won't lie. I'm starting to read and expand a bit more. I've started like listening to my friends' recommendations of other titles, but I'm very into like everything to do with Gotham, and it's rare that I kind of venture out of that because that's my safe zone, and I find getting into new characters in comics can be a little like overwhelming, and my like general Marvel knowledge is so much bigger than my DC knowledge. When it comes to the shows, I watch most of the animated ones, but all of the like Arrowverse stuff, like the CW ones, I've really not seen. I watched a season and a half of Supergirl and 1 season of Arrow, and I think that's all. So those shows, my knowledge is limited, but I've seen all of the movies, even the ones I regret watching. This wig is annoying me. Favorite type of wildlife in Australia is an interesting question. I love wombats. I love koalas, but that's such a basic bitch answer. I think they're so cute and they're so funny. The fact that they're just high all the time, I think is the funniest thing that's ever happened in nature. Wallabies are really cute. Kangaroos scare me, but like wallabies are angels. Emus terrify me. I think wombats. I'm gonna go with wombats. When is Percy Catson's birthday? Thank you for asking the important questions. Thank you. I often forget the exact date, but it's in October, which is the same as my birthday's also in October, which I always think is cute. I have to check his paperwork because I forget every year and have to double check when it is. I do get him presents on his birthday every year. Make no mistake. We're on to Instagram questions now. God bless. What other DC cosplays do you want to do? Will everyone yell at me if it's 8,000 versions of Harley? Because the answer is 8,000 versions of Harley. Another few Ivies too. Not to be biased, I really want to do a Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman, but like I want to do it well, so I want to put a lot of time and money into that, which I don't have right now, but someday, that's one of my dream DC cosplays. I just did Starfire. I would love to do a Raven as well. Who else? I feel like it's mostly just 8,000 Harleys. Supergirl would be fun. Batgirl would be fun. Ooh, out of the 7 deadly sins, which one fits you the best? This is such an interesting question, and I truly don't know. I'm trying to think of I'm gonna Google the 7 deadly sins because I feel like I'm missing some in my head. Lust, gluttony, greed, sloth, wrath, envy, pride. Could be pride because I'm gay. That's a sin. I'm kidding. It's not wrath. I don't think it's actually pride. I don't think it's gluttony or greed either. Like maybe lust, but in the way that like I'm a very monogamous person, so it's like lust for my monogamous partner and my monogamous relationship. Does that make it a deadly sin? I don't know. I think you have to have a different kind of lust for that to be the deadly sin that they talk about. Like maybe envy, but also like I don't think I experience envy in the way that it's like a deadly sin. It's like when people have things that like I want or they achieve things that I want, I just go, oh, they're so deserving of that. I wish that I was also deserving of it. And then I get like sad and introspective. Maybe it is pride. Maybe it is the gay one. I don't know. If you could have any performer stylist, who and why? Sabrina Carpenter, because I am obsessed with everything that she wears. She has a very, very similar like color palette that she wears to me, which is like, it's a lot of very feminine silhouettes. It's a lot of pastel blues, pinks, purples, and yellows, which is all that I wear and all that makes me feel pretty. Jacinta says, go on a rant saying all the things you want to say to the creepy people in your comments and at cons. I don't even necessarily have like a rant. Just remember that people are human beings. And if you wouldn't say something to someone's face, don't say it to them online. And also at conventions, remember that people are once again human beings. They are not a character that you like. And just because you follow someone online or you like someone's cosplay, something, you know, anything along those lines, does not give you the right to inappropriately touch them or be super invasive. Try and listen to social cues. If someone seems like a conversation is making them a little uncomfortable, and this isn't even necessarily from personal experience, but if someone seems like a conversation is making them a little bit uncomfortable, say, oh well, okay, it was really nice talking to you, and let them move along. I think that's just a normal, decent respect thing. If you see someone online and you think that a part of their body looks good, you can also just think that, and you don't have to point it out. You don't have to comment, oh my god, boobs. You can just think that. Inside thoughts are a thing. Ever thought about the fact that we were basically crazy meat robots traveling through space and time all the time, and I don't like thinking about it? Troy says, what's your headcanon of the favorite alcoholic drink of Percy and Annabeth as legal adults for it? Unfortunately, I think Annabeth would have like fancy taste, probably like an espresso martini. I say that because that's the only like fancy grown-up cocktail that I like. Percy would have the same taste as me, which is like he wants it to taste like sugar. So he's gonna, you know, fuck with the sweetest, fruitiest things. He'd probably love when you go to those cocktail bars and they have like nerd, like the nerd candy, like those kinds of cocktails. He'd probably fuck with one of those. What's your thoughts on dating apps? I have not had good experiences using them. I know people who have met their long-term partners who they are very, very happy with on dating apps. So that's cool. They clearly work for some people. They did not work for me. In my case, I never had good experiences meeting people on them. I've only used them a little bit. I've only ever used Hinge, to be fair. I think their existence of them creates a lot of problem for modern dating, and the way that everyone ever nowadays who tries to date, they always have this like feeling in the back of their mind that there are more options, or there's like, you know, does anyone know that episode of How I Met Your Mother where like Barney and Ted have like the booty call phone and they keep running out on these amazing hot sexy women because they're always like there could be someone even hotter on the other end of the phone? I think dating apps have given modern dating that kind of belief for everyone, and I think that's inherently like not a great thing, and I think it's very hard to make like actual meaningful connections off of them. It's not impossible, it does work for some people, but in my experience, because you're almost presenting yourself on them like you're a product, I find it really weird and dehumanizing. I don't enjoy being on them. I haven't enjoyed the times where I have been on them. I haven't met any of my partners personally from dating apps. They've always been people that I've met through other means of social media, like directly them contacting me, or just I've met them in person somewhere. I don't know, not for me, but I'm very happy that they have worked for people. Favorite musical? Thank you for asking, Sam. It's Hades Town. Would you ever go full on D&D? I love playing D&D. I just don't do it often enough. Sabrina Carpenter is gonna arm wrestle you. Do you accept the challenge? I'm gonna lose the challenge because she definitely has like more strength and muscles than I do, because she's like super fit and works out, but I will accept the challenge just so I can hold her hand. Would you volunteer as tribute in the Hunger Games? If someone that I cared about was like reaped and then I was there, I would volunteer for them, but I wouldn't just volunteer for the heck of it because I am gonna die. Like I have no fucking shot at winning, so I'm not gonna be like, I'm gonna volunteer because I'm gonna bring pride to my district. No, you're not, babe. But if one of my like close friends or something was reaped, I would volunteer because I'd much rather me die than them. Yeah, I'm not volunteering for the heck of it to try and get, you know, food for my district. Because I wouldn't. Not gonna answer this, but I do like that someone, I'm gonna blur their name for privacy. Someone's just said feet, please. Do you understand the nature of this? I asked for Q&A questions. Moving to a cosplay of a male character, I don't know if you have or haven't though. I am someone who I don't feel personally comfortable like making myself appear masculine for cosplays. The only one that I've ever done was like a feminine Peter Parker, which was you know, cosplayed Peter Parker, but I did it with long hair and with makeup and with, you know, my feminine features that I was still emphasizing, because that is how I feel comfortable appearing as. So I would always be down to do like feminine versions of characters, but I would never want to like make myself appear masculine or masculine presenting for a cosplay, because I don't personally feel comfy doing that. I miss you. What are your PAX plans? I miss you more. I will be at PAX. Anyone's fucking guess if I know what I'm cosplaying. I would love to. I decided like a month ago I would love to get a Shadow Heart done for it, just because I've wanted to cosplay her for a minute and haven't like prioritized it. And I was like, oh, like video game convention, that's a good excuse to focus on Shadow Heart. We'll fucking see if I do that, because I have 8,000 cos plans for the year. So I assume this is a request, drunk album reviews. I would love to do that, but do we want like me being drunk and reviewing albums I already know, or new ones? Because if they're new ones from like artists I love, I'm gonna be crying. Are you gonna do Trials of Apollo reading vlogs? Love you so much, Ashlee. I love you more. I would love to do Trials of Apollo reading vlogs. I keep procrastinating them because, and I have famously said this, I don't like the first 2 Trials books very much. I really enjoy and really love the last 3 Trials books. I did a reading vlog for the last one when it came out. My first reading vlog ever was for the 5th Trials of Apollo book, because at the time I thought it was going to be the last Kim Half-Blood Chronicles novel, because it was said to be. Rick Riordan made a clown out of me. I would love to, because I love doing Riordanverse reading vlogs. Reading vlogs are really fun for me, and it's more fun I think to do reread ones, because I have more to say, because I've had time to like process everything that I'm reading. That's why like my Riordanverse reading vlogs I think are my better reading vlogs out of the ones that I've made. I feel like no one watched my other ones, but I have done a few of the Hunger Games ones. Like I did one for the first book. I just did one for Sunrise and the Reaping. I've done ones for the entire Carry On trilogy by Rainbow Rowell. I did one for Daisy Jones and the Six. I did one when I read The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. Occasionally they happen, but I feel like people only care about the Riordanverse ones, and I think it's because they're better. Ryan asks, any plans for more tattoos? Yes, I have multiple, thank you for asking. So I have 2 tattoos. We have the Archer that I got when I saw like my first Eris tour show last year. It's just a bow and arrow with a little flower for the Archer that is matching with a bunch of my friends too. I don't know if you can see it. I'll insert a photo maybe. I have Thank Goodness, written in Courtney Monsmer's handwriting with some bubbles around it. She plays Glinda on the recent Australian and currently Asian tour of Wicked the Musical. I've wanted a Wicked tattoo for a long time, and Thank Goodness is my favourite song from Wicked, but Thank Goodness is also the past like year and a half. It's taken on this huge new meaning for me, context of having dreams come true and them not necessarily being what you think they are, and them having a cost that comes with them, not even necessarily feeling like deserving of them. Not to get into all that, but so I got Courtney Monsmer to write out Thank Goodness for me, and I got that for my birthday last year. I have a bunch of other ones that I want to get. I have a Scarlet Witch tattoo I want to get. There's a couple more Taylor Swift ones I want to get. I want to get one for Sabrina Carpenter. I want to get a Hadestown one, and I think I am going to get a Hadestown one when I see it for the first time in Melbourne. There's a Tangled one I want to get. So there's still definitely a few, but it's always just like, I feel like it's easier for me to justify booking in the tattoo if there's an occasion for it. So, you know, the Eris tour show, or my birthday, or wanting to get my Hadestown one when I see Hadestown again. I've wanted a Hadestown one for a couple years, but booking it in like the morning before I see it again, which makes it easier to justify the cost of tattoos, because they're pricey. It's easier to justify if there's like a celebration. What's one thing 13-year-old Ashlee would have loved seeing from her older self? This is tricky. Very, very sweet question. Thank you for asking it. I think the fact that I am so unashamed of being kind of like weird now. I dress in ways that make me feel pretty and cute, even if they're not necessarily what's on trend or in fashion. You know, they make me stand out a little bit in public, and that used to be something I was so terrified of. I'm so, you know, I'm a cosplayer now and I do that online. I'm so unashamed to love comics and love Taylor Swift and the music that I love and musicals. You know, the fact that I love those things so loudly and so intensely is something that draws people to me and my content, and I think that would be something that 13-year-old Ashlee wouldn't be able to comprehend, but would be very happy about the idea that someday she doesn't have to hide those things and doesn't have to realistically hide her like autistic traits, that she's going to find a place. I think she would be very, very happy to see that, I hope, at least. I try to like live kind of for my inner child, so I hope she'd be happy. Fuck, marry, kill, you choose the characters. Oh, that's too easy because I can just choose characters I want to fuck, marry, and kill. We're gonna put in my men from Challengers. We're gonna put in Art Donaldson and Patrick Zweig. Now I need someone to kill though. I'm trying to think of like any other tenors. And then throw in Steve Carell's character from Battle of the Sexes. Can't remember anything about him, but I feel like he was kind of a misogynist. I haven't seen the movie in a long time, I could be wrong. Sorry if I am. We're gonna kill Steve Carell's character from Battle of the Sexes. We're gonna fuck Patrick Zweig and we're gonna marry Art Donaldson. Someone said please cosplay Ivy Linux for science. Please let me. I would love fucking nothing more, honestly. Least favorite cosplay I've ever done. Ooh, there's a few that this could be. Any of my early ones, truly. I'm gonna say my Black Widow. I would love to do a good one someday, but my Black Widow was bad. Pet peeve, personal and about cosplay. Personal, my like least favorite thing in the world is when people assume that because someone is kind or gentle that they're weak. Obviously that's like a very personal affront to me, but or that they're stupid. Really hate that. About cosplay, I don't love when, this isn't necessarily about cosplay itself, it's more so about people who consume cosplay content. When someone acts like a cosplay is only good if you look like the character. I really hate that. If someone, and you know, sometimes people act like they're better because they look like this actor or actress, or they look exactly like the design of a character from a video game. They have their exact body type, and I really despise that. Cosplay is for everyone. We can't actually alter, you know, the nature of cosplay is to try and alter our features like a little bit, but only so much as like makeup can do. And also makeup is like a certain skill that some people who are cosplayers are better at than others. I think cosplay makeup is something I've gotten better at, and it's one of the things that I'm probably better at in terms of cosplay. Than, you know, I'm better at that than wig styling for fucking sure. So yeah, I don't like when people go, oh, this isn't a good cosplay because you look like this person, when people have clearly spent hours and hours and invested so much time and money. The amount of times people will like learn new skills and will compete in something and it'll be brilliant, but there will be like comments on their posts about it being like, well, actually this creator did it better because they look like the actor. I really hate that. One, I don't like the idea that cosplay is a competition, but two, I hate the idea that cosplay is basically like, you should only cosplay characters you look like. That's not what cosplay is about. Cosplay is about having fucking fun and portraying characters that you love or that you love the design of. As an Australian, what crime did you commit to earn your stay there? Yay. Where's the OF? When's the OF? How's the OF? Appreciate that you want one. I don't have one, but I really do appreciate that you want one. Sometimes I think about it. The realistic answer is, one, I don't know how good that would be for my mental health because I am a sexual assault survivor and my relationship with sex is complicated. As of recently, I'm gonna overshare a bit. I'm a very sexually liberated person. I've really like done a lot of work to repair my relationship with sex in terms of like between me and a partner, but I think involving a lot of like other people and strangers I think could be quite detrimental to the work that I've done to repair that as a sexual assault survivor. But also, on a whole other note, I am a party princess and I love doing that for work so much, and if I started sex work, because that's what OF is, we love and we support sex workers here, genuinely, wholeheartedly. I've legitimately thought about it, but yeah, it would mean that I can't do this job that I love so much anymore. I wouldn't want to give that up. Realistically, I feel like a lot of people imagine like OF is like an easy money maker, and I'm very, very well aware that it's not, because I have friends who do it and it's a lot of hard work and it's very, very difficult to actually be making good money off of it. So I don't know if the risks would outweigh that for me. Very realistic answer for you. Favorite TTPD song and why? Ooh, like overall fave. I'm including the anthology because most of my favorite songs are on the anthology. Actually, in saying that, it might be Clara Bow. As someone who is not in the exact same industry but is a woman in entertainment, it hits really close to home for me and makes me feel very understood about how awful it can kind of be sometimes. It's hell on earth to be heavenly, you know, even though I'm nowhere near as involved in those industries and can't feel that lyric as much as Taylor and the artists that she's writing about, Stevie Nicks and Clara Bow and all the people who are coming up after her. I can't relate to it as much as they can, but it feels very poignant to me as well. Honorary mentions though too, I hate it here in the manuscript. As unhinged as I want, have you ever tried any of the Juno positions? What were we saying about this channel being family friendly? Yes, I have most of them. And there are some that I haven't that I want. Do with that what you will. Figure that out. It might just be the smoking one. never smoked a cigarette in my life. Who's to say?
Would you give me a chance to be a real friend to you? That's so sweet. I promise you probably don't want that though. I'm a mess.
Did you know that I love you so much? I love you more. When you're coming to California, so I can take you to Marvel Disneyland. Please. Please. What oddly specific magic item would your godparent gift you once you got to Camp Half-Blood? I think I'm a daughter of Athena, so has she given anyone except Annabeth anything? Because it's like the invisibility hat. She's not going to give that to me too. A book that gives me information on whatever hyper-specific thing I'm really like fixated on learning about. That's what I want it to be. Right, nobody want to be in the video. Hi, I love you. Hi, Millie, I love you too. Going to see Wicked on Broadway in a month. So I want to know what your favorite part is. First of all, hope you have the most amazing time. The cast right now is phenomenal. I bet you will just love it so much. My favorite part is, thank goodness, because I'm biased. For good. Popular is so much fun every night. Defying Gravity. Like, not to be basic, but I saw Wicked, the Australian tour, 14 times, I think. How many? Maybe it was 13. I saw it. I saw it 13 times, which is my lucky number. That's really cute. And I cried during Defying Gravity every single time. And I saw multiple Elphabas. I saw 4 different Elphabas and I cried every time. Some more than others, but every single time. What was your first introduction to Spider-Man comics or movies? It was actually not comics or movies. It was the Spectacular Spider-Man cartoon. And then after that, the first Spider-Man movie I ever saw was The Amazing Spider-Man with Andrew. And that made me start reading the comics. I didn't see the Tobey movies until a few years later. I want to say it was like 2014. They were put on Netflix Australia when I first got Netflix. So it was Spectacular Spider-Man initially. You're transported into the last game you played, how screwed are you? It was split fiction, so it kind of depends on the world in split fiction. I mean, like, I feel like they're pretty safe, but they're also like, I die a lot in those games. I'm dead. Sorry. Whoops. When did you first start cosplaying? 2019. It was November of 2019. Supernova Adelaide, right after I graduated high school. I cosplayed Spider-Gwen. Not great, but it was immediately my favorite thing in the world. I wanted to cosplay for so long, but I was so scared of doing it and of what people would think. So right after I finished high school, right after I turned 18, I had a friend who like peer pressured me a little bit lovingly into trying it, and I immediately was obsessed with it. And then I started posting cosplay content on TikTok in December of that year, just as an excuse to fucking get into cosplay more, because cons are so infrequent in Adelaide, especially where I was living, but in just like all of Australia. I didn't want to wait for the next convention and wait like nearly a year, and it's the coolest thing in the world. Anyway, that's all the questions that people had for me as of currently. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any like suggestions of content you would like to see, genuinely throw them in the comments. I want to know. I feel very aimless with this. I've just kind of been doing whatever I want, hence the Smash video. I'll still finish. I have part 2 filmed. I just haven't edited it yet. I'm trying to upload once a week again, at least for a little bit, until I run out of steam. So if all goes to plan, a week from when this goes up, I should hopefully have a Supernova Melbourne con vlog ready for you. I've enlisted 2 of my friends to help me film because I always want to do con vlogs, but I get too embarrassed to film, so I've just enlisted friends to film me and force me into it. If that goes to plan and doesn't turn out too boring, that should be up in a week's time. Let me know what you want to see. If you have more questions, throw them in the comments and I'll answer them. Yeah, if you want to follow me or support me on other platforms, if you want to do that and don't already, they'll all be linked below. Thank you to everyone who supports me on Patreon, but especially those who are one with the Force and Ashley's favorite goblins, who are my favorite goblins. I love you, and I'll see you very soon. Mwah!